In this section, let's try to understand what are aggregated functions in DAX. We have sum, average, min, max, and count and distinct. There are a lot of other aggregate function. For time being, we are covering only this. And we have a sum x, average x, min x, max x, which are the iterators of the sum functions. As I said before, this channel covers a lot of fundamentals in DAX. I've made a detailed video on each and every functions that are most useful functions with some different scenarios. Please go through this playlist, that is Power BI DAX complete playlist. That will be helpful to enhance your DAX skills. Let's try to understand in Power BI now about the aggregated function. Now, while I'm doing this for the DAX, let's try to have the best practices. Let's try to create one measure table. Why this table is important? Because you are going to create bunch of measures, right? And all these things should be preserved in a single place and organizing it in a different folders for different purposes. That is why we create a one table for it. So I'm creating the table tools. Click on the table and this will appear. Click on new table, then it will have the syntax here. And usually my way of doing it, just create some empty value that will create a single column. What happened? It said the name of the object name reserved string measures. Okay, this is the reserved string, and just keep 0 underscore something like that, so that what happens is you will get this particular table at the top, okay, or a underscore measure, something like that. So this will start appearing at your top of your table list, right? So now we created an empty table that doesn't contain anything. If you go and check it out here, this doesn't contain anything, it just contains a 0 value. What happens is all the measures what we are going to create, we will create over here. Now I'm going to create a total sales. Okay, let's try to have a sum of item amount, basically sales amount. I'm trying to create some issue here so that you will understand what is the use of creating the explicit measure. So we already have total sales in this example. Let's try to have some hyphen to differentiate. So total hyphen sales. Now I'm going to use this total sales over here in this table, total hyphen sales, and also here. Okay, but actually once you use this total underscore sales, right, this particular measure which is using the item amount, okay, once you started building this, let's say you have created bunch of reports out of it, let's say 10 reports out of it, and many charts using this particular measure. Now all to the sudden you realize like this particular measure, it's using the wrong column. Instead of item amount, you should use the sales amount, that is the actual column you need to. Now if you have not created this simple measure, right, let's say item amount here, I'm reverting back. So instead of creating this measure here, okay, let's assume you dragged and dropped actual implicit measure. As I told before, implicit measure here, the sales amount or item amount directly from here. You need to go and change every other report manually when you use the column from the reports. But right now the best practice is, as soon as whether it's useful or not, it is very simple report, start creating a measure. Okay, once you start using this measure, many reports, any changes in future comes to this particular measure, you need to change only one single place, that is total sales. Instead of sales amount, I need to use the I will just replace this measure. So all the charts over here will get automatically affected, okay, changed. Now you see you have used these two measures in this table. There is no effect as it is because you refer this measure here. Whatever formula used inside the measure, it is changed. Okay, I want to take this as a best practice to inform you while explaining the sum. So that is why I told you. So this is what we have a sum is all about. And we have seen in our previous example SUMX, like it's an iterator. When you want to do the calculation, right, let's try to create another measure here, that is total sales with the quantity. So this is not actual total sales. Someone assume like you have created a wrong total sales because you didn't multiply the quantity here. So how you can calculate it dynamically? You can use SUMX, that is transaction, and then basically quantity, transaction quantity multiplied by item amount. Okay, I hope if you remember this in our previous example, over here transaction, we have created the new item amount. All right, so what it does, item quantity into item amount. Okay, so both are multiplied, quantity into item amount, then it gives the new item amount. This is nothing but our sales amount. Okay, and this sales amount including tax. So assume you want to calculate only quantity into item amount, that will be a new item amount. That is what you want to calculate it. So let's name it as total item amount correct. Okay, you name it properly, but I'm trying to compare the namings here. Okay, so new item amount correct. Now this will be transaction sum of, you need to sum the calculations here. Okay, what you are iterating, you are iterating the table. Each row you go and do this operation. Okay, what is the difference between creating it in a measure as well as a column? When you create it as a measure, this particular measure will not be stored in your table. It is just a calculation. While I'm using this in this table now I'm going to use this measure. At this time only it is dynamically calculated. You see how fast it is calculated, very quick, right? So on the fly it will calculate. If you see, I drag and drop here, I will remove this total sales. On the fly it is calculating. That much fast it is calculating for each row. This table contains more than 7,000 records. For 7,000 records it calculated and produces the results. That is the magic of measures. So once you create a column here, the same calculation, you reserve the memory over here. So same logic applicable to your minimum and maximum. Let's try to understand one example with maximum sales, then we will move on to other measures. Now we have sales over here. Let's try to check out what is the maximum sales by age group. I have age group wise data here, right? Age group wise Chennai, and each age group wise how much they are spending, right? How much maximum they are spending. That's what I want to check it out. So let's try to check it out. So for time being, we will consider this total sales as the correct sales amount. We will ignore all other calculations. So I will say maximum sales. Now let's go and check max of sales. Sorry, max of column name from the this should give the maximum from the column name. Okay, not the maximum data. Okay, you should use the maximum sales amount. Okay, now once you do this one, then you can see this is the maximum sales. So what I can see is in Chennai 22 years people are buying, maximum capacity they can spend is 3,564. That is what the maximum they are trying to spend in on shop. In that online order it is slightly different. Online they are spending very less. So this kind of comparison I can make it here. So let's try to have another value here. Let's say I want to make labels, right? Labels here, online and offline order max. So how I can make, right? So in the same max I want to compute only the online order. Here I will say total maximum sales, maximum sales. This is across all the without any filters. Now in the online order, how much I'm making, right? So for that, let's try to create another measure. Max X means iterator, right? Max X iterator. The syntax, if you in order to understand the syntax, just put that function, open the bracket, and it says table and expression. Okay, so table is nothing but my transaction table. Okay, now in this I need a expression is nothing but my sales amount. I need the maximum value. Okay, one thing I need to understand here is there is no filter supplied. So in next chapter I will introduce a filter. For now I want to use the filter function here, filter, that will take a syntax of filter equal to my order type, right? Order type name equals online sales. Okay, this will not return anything. So basically what I'm doing is I need to get the maximum for the subset in the table. Okay, I need to go to the table. In that table I want to filter only the online order. In that online order I need the sales amount. Okay, let's go and check it out. What is the correct spelling? Okay, I need to put online, right? So this can be a different value. Let's go and check it out here in the transaction table. So I have something like online order. Okay, I need to put exactly the same. It is the case sensitive, so O caps and this O also caps. So let's go back, online order. There you go. Now this particular measure which will give me on online order also across the board, it will be the same. Let's say casual wear, it is different. Okay, on formal wear it is different, semi formal it is different. So you see on semi formal this is the actual sales, right? On online sales you see the figure here, maximum sales online, right? 1300. Let's try to put it out here and based on this order, and here let's go back and see online order. This is the value 1296, right? In semi formal, that is what it is showing here. So basically these min, max iterators are used to filter certain values at the transaction level and get the maximum value within the transaction. This applicables same to the other X function. We have seen the example for the max. The minimum function will do the exact opposite. For time being I'm not explaining the minimum functions. So let's try to check quickly about the count functions. Let's check it out here itself. Let's say how many products I have here, right? For that let me introduce the line number. Now you see all this aggregate function by default appears here. Let's sum, average, minimum, maximum, whatever we are discussing. So when I say immediately count, you see how many number of items you get it over here for each item. Even I can say the distinct count. Count means it will have the number of rows, but distinct count means let's say same product has been sold twice, it will count only once. Okay, same product on one particular day or this particular combination sold many times, right? It will be considered once. So that is the difference between count and distinct. Same kind of measures you can start writing it over here. So let's get rid of this and let me introduce the new measure here, like count. Count rows. I mean there are a lot of functions in count. You see count, count A, count AX, blank, count X, all other stuffs over here. Distinct count, no blank. So it's all together a lot of functions. So what is the key difference between count A and count is that A is the counts the number of values in a column. It's a text. Okay, when it's a counts the numbers in a column. Okay, that is the actual difference. So when you are counting a numerical column, you should use count, and when you are counting a text column, then you should use the A. Since the line number is the text column here as per the data type, I will use the count A here. Okay, now you can put, this doesn't make any sense like count A or count line number, right? So that will be meaning like when it is a number, you can use either count or count A. That is fine. That is what I'm trying to make. Okay, let's say I want to use the distinct product count for this combination, how much it is sold. Okay, distinct or number of products sold, count, distinct count of transaction product. Okay, I need to use from the transaction here because the count appears in the transactions only. Okay, I should not go and count in the where you call in our product dimension. Okay, so you can see on this page in Chennai on shop only 2 products has been sold. This is a distinct product. Okay, it is different from the number of rows. So number of rows we have seen here. Where did we added that measure? Count rows, right? So even though there are 16 products sold, okay, 16 products or 16 items are line items there, only 2 products are sold here. In this case it is only 1 product. These 13 rows are there, so this combination there are 13 rows, but this we are speaking about only 1 product here. Okay, I hope you understand about this aggregate function. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up button and comment below for queries, and do remember that data is your asset.